Waiting.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, MotoGP's Asia Pacific Tour continues at one of the most spectacular tracks on the calendar as the phenomenal Phillip Island hosting Liquid Moly Australian Grand Prix. It's round 19 of 22, and joining us for the pre-event press conference are two young Spanish stars and one home hero. Introducing Red Bull KTM rider Pedro Acosta. Pedro's sixth in the World Championship with podiums recently in Brno, Balaton Park, and most recently our last time out in Mandalika. We're joined by BK8 Gresini Racing rider Fermin Aldeguer, a brilliant first MotoGP victory last time out in Mandalika for Fermin, which made him the second youngest rider in Premier Class history to win, the first rookie to win in MotoGP since Jorge Martin in 2021, and the Moto2 race winner here, of course, last year was Fermin. And completing today's lineup, so popular wherever we race in the world, but certainly here in Australia, we welcome Prima Pramac Yamaha rider Jack Miller. Jack third here back in 2019, a Moto3 winner here, seems like a long time ago now, Jack, in 2014, and that incredible moment 3 years ago when turn 4 was named Miller Corner. And another special weekend for Jack coming up as well, because he's due to make his 250th Grand Prix start. Gentlemen, welcome to all three of you. We'll start the press conference with you, Pedro. Great ride in Mandalika, a very different track and certainly very different conditions to face here this weekend in Australia. Amazing track though, high speed, fast corners. How unique is the challenge of Phillip Island?
Well, I for sure the hardest racing whole year, you know, mentally. Not many tracks around the world you can go that fast, that close to the sea, and with that wind around, you know, for this. We will try to enjoy. It's true that this is not my best track around the year, but it's true that KTM was improving in the last couple of tracks like this, like can be Asen or can be Silverstone for this. Let's try to give our best. It's true that in Indonesia we suffer more than what's expected, but we managed also to be in the podium for this. Let's try to keep going this constancy that now we are finding in this top 5 and try to don't make a lot of mistakes like in the sprint race.
Last year was quite a tricky weekend. FP1 was cancelled. You unfortunately then had the crash in the sprint and missed the Sunday Grand Prix. So do you almost feel like a rookie again coming back here this time around?
Yeah, for sure. Last time was not so funny to be a MotoGP rider here, you know. But well, it's true that last year I was missing a lot of track time, and I mean I was not be able to put many laps together. Also FP2 was wet, and then was a mess also in the qualifying for this. Let's try to put many laps together. Let's try to give our 100%, take the 100% of the thing, and also put everything together, because I think can be, after all, can be a good weekend for us.
Last time in Mandalika, your crew chief, Paul Trevathan, told us it was you who made the difference, and it was you that put the KTM on the podium in that last Grand Prix. This is one of those tracks, Pedro, where everybody says it's the rider talent that can really make a difference. So do you see this as a big opportunity to fight for the victory?
Well, we cross the fingers, you know. Well, normally, also in 23, Brad was super fast here fighting for the victory. Last year also he was fighting for this top 3. For this, let's see how we can start the weekend. Let's try to jump tomorrow on the bike and see how I feel. I think, like I say, if we can put everything together, it can be a good weekend for us. But like I say, no expectation around.
Let's hope it is a good weekend for you here and the team, Pedro. For the time being, thank you very much. We'll come on then to our most recent MotoGP winner, Fermin Aldeguer. Fermin, unbelievable Sunday in Mandalika, taking that first victory in MotoGP. You've got an amazing record here in Phillip Island as well in Moto2. So how much are you looking forward to the challenge of riding a MotoGP bike here for the first time? And no rookie has won back-to-back races in MotoGP since Marc Marquez, all the way back in 2013. Do you think you've got a good chance this weekend? No pressure.
No, it's pressure for sure. I hope, but I have clear my goals. For sure, I come here with extra motivation. We won the last race, and Phillip Island is my best track. It's my favorite track. Here I do 3 poles in a row. My last victory before the Indonesian Grand Prix, and yes, I come here with a good mentality, but with very calm, because it's a different track with a MotoGP bike. For sure, the wind, the cold is completely different than in Indonesia. We have to be careful and try to do step by steps. Start the Friday in the best mode. Our goal for the rest of the season is improve the Friday days, and this is my first goal for this weekend.
Phillip Island is a spectacular circuit. So many riders love this. You just said it's your favourite circuit on the Grand Prix calendar. 3 pole positions in 3 visits in Moto2, including that win here last year for Fermin. Why do you love Phillip Island so much? What is it about this track that you like and go so well at?
I don't know. I like this kind of track with fast corner. I manage well the slide, the gas. I don't know. It's a track with flow, and yes, I'm very clean with my style. I don't know why, but I'm fast in the past. I hope to be fast also this year.
And just finally, I'm sure one of the targets coming into this rookie season for you was to win the Rookie of the Year title. You can actually achieve that here this weekend in Australia. So if you do so, how proud would you be to be our Rookie of the Year in 2025?
Yes, for a start, the season was one of my goals to be Rookie of the Year. We don't start in the best way. For sure, Ogura start better than me, but we recover all the points. Unfortunately, him also do some injuries. Chandra also, but yeah, now we are leading. Maybe here we can close this little championship, but yes, now after my results, I have other goals.
Other targets. I'm sure you're going to achieve those as well, Fermin, in 2025. For the time being, thank you very much. We'll come on then to Jack Miller, of course, riding for the Prima Pramac Yamaha team. Jack, it's always a brilliant experience for all of us, but especially you, to come to this wonderful circuit. First time on the Yamaha here for you this weekend. It's a layout that in the past has tended to play to the strengths of the M1. So how do you see your potential this weekend, Jack?
Yeah, like you say, off the the feeling that we have now with the M1 after so many races on it, I believe coming into this on paper, it seems like a great track for us. Track you kind of focus on carrying momentum, as the guy said, really high speed corners, and the bike tends to turn really well and carries good corner speed, and there's not too many stop-start points on here, so we can kind of hopefully carry that momentum around the track. And again, looking at the forecast, the bike tends to be pretty good in the wind as well. It's not too upset with the crosswind like you get here in Phillip Island. So looking at those 50k an hour winds on Sunday, we might not be too mad at it, but at the same time, it's the same for everybody. So we just got to try and hit the ground running and have a solid Friday. After what's been a couple of frustrating weekends for me with speed being somewhat there, but just inconsistency. So hopefully we can bring that speed this weekend, if not more, and at the same time work on that consistency.
Obviously, big weekend for you coming up this time around, Jack, but exciting times ahead for you personally and for Yamaha into 2026 with the arrival of the new V4. You had a bit of a play on that recently over in Misano. Is there a sense from you and inside Yamaha that this new concept is going to get you back in the game at the front? Yeah,
I think so. Like all things, it's a new project. Testing the bike in both Barcelona and Misano. In the limited sort of track time that we got, was very happy with the direction that it's taken. The areas that we needed to work on, it's done that in terms of using the rear tyre to be able to stop the bike and also accelerate as well. Without compromising too much what is that Yamaha, that incredible front end and the turning capability of it. Obviously, we're in the very early stages of that, and we need to extract a few more horses out of it. But that's one of the easier things to be done in concept of making a motorcycle, I think.
And your timing this weekend, Jack, is fantastic. It's your home Grand Prix, and it is your 250th Grand Prix start, the first Australian to reach that milestone in 3 classes. It's a tough journey to Europe from this part of the world, Jack. So to reach that number and be part of MotoGP as you have been now for 10 years, how proud are you to reach that landmark? And of course, the adventure rolls on in 2026 and hopefully beyond.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I didn't know it was 250 till I did TV earlier today, and somebody said that, and I was like, oh, really? Well, as you said, a couple of young Spanish sitting up here and some old Australians. So, it's awesome to reach that number, and obviously, 26 and beyond. My plans don't end in 2026. I feel like I've still got a lot more to give, and I feel like the best is yet to come. So we'll keep plugging away at it, and keep trying to find our way back to the front end.
We certainly hope you're here beyond 2026 as well. Jack, for the time being, gentlemen, to all three of you, thank you very much. MotoGP social coming up a little bit later, but for the time being, we'll take questions, please, from the media. Thank you.
Hello, here Borja González Dazón. A question for you two, for Pedro and for Fermin. I know that you are not the super best friends in your life now, but have you seen this image that we have when you were kids, both together, I think in the podium, and now the photo of the last day? I don't know, what do you think about this, because you are also the 2 youngest riders in the grid, and I don't know if for you this image is special in some way. Thank you.
Yeah, super cool to see photos from these days. At the end, nice to see that 2 guys coming from Murcia that from beginning, even when Juan Fran Guevara was here and Ana Carrasco was around, was like quite difficult to imagine that some guys from a really small region will be able to arrive. Maybe it was a shock, first of all, to see me, and then was a shock to see Fermin won his first MotoGP win in last GP, for this. I don't know, I think it's a really good thing for whole the region, for also all the guys that want to become like us, let's say. Now they have like solid heroes, let's say, to see that it's possible, no? Also, now us 2 are here in MotoGP, but also Carpe is coming, Quilez is coming, also Cano is around the small categories. For these many young guys will come soon from Murcia, for this. Everything that happened good to us is good also for the region.
Yeah, for me, same. I think now Murcia is one of the best places for the motorcycle sport. More kids arrive. For me to share a podium with Pedro is very nice, because at the end we train a lot of time together. We arrive here in the top in our dream together, and maybe the relationship for sure is not the same, but it's very difficult to have friends in the paddock, and but for everybody we don't have nothing of problem. Just we are rivals, we are competitive for the same goal, and just this, but it's nice.
Hi, Mela Chercoles from Diario AS and Cadena Ser. My question is for the local hero, Jack Miller. You were also young not so long ago. What do you think when you see new and successful face like Acosta and Aldeguer, and what advice could you give them in base of your experience in MotoGP?
I think they don't need it. They're doing all the right things. I mean, you look at Pedro's season last year as a rookie. You look at Fermin's this year as a rookie. They're doing the right things. They, just what they were touching on there about Murcia and the region and where they've grown up doing it. I think these guys are 20 years old, but with the mindset of a veteran, because they've been doing it for so long against so many competitive riders that they don't need that. And yeah, it's scary for what the future holds, because these kids again are getting so much younger. but so ready for the world to take on the best riders in the world. So it's amazing for the sport, but at the same time, it's scary for old men like me.
Neil Morrison, I have a question for all three riders. The first question is for Pedro and Fermin. Why are we seeing so many riders from Murcia coming to Grand Prix racing now? What is so special about the region, and why are we now seeing so many riders come to the top of the class?
Well, I think it's nothing special at all, but we have everything we need, you know. I mean, minimum from my home, I have like 4 karting tracks around 1 hour. Then I have like 3 motocross tracks and 1 flat track, like I say, in 1 hour. This is awesome. Also, I go back home after Indonesia, and we was like 24 degrees, and we are on October or November. We are now, you know, for this. I don't know. Also, it's a lot of level of rider around Alicante, Murcia, Almeria, all these places, you know. And at the end, when you train with guys that are faster than you, you become better, you know. I remember when Fermin and me we was kids, we was competing in Valencian Championship, and was many guys that you see now in the championship like Colgado, Piqueras, Rueda, and all these guys was competing there also, you know. For this, it's not any surprise, you know, that all these guys are competing and training together from kids. At the end, it's more easy to become the level up. But in Murcia, like I say, weather is fantastic. People is super easy to manage with the people when you want to go training. And I don't know. In my opinion, are many people around that want that all these kids go to the top of this sport, let's say.
For me, it's the same. At the end, how he said, we have the best weather. We have a lot of track close, also in Valencia, Murcia, Almeria, and it's very easy also for the family, no? Because you don't have to spend a lot of times to go train when you are a kid, when you have to go at school. And yeah, also we have now more, but we had a school for riders, and yeah, we born all together there.
Okay, thank you. And Jack, looks as though the forecast is going to be very up and down this weekend, just over here. When you're racing the likes of Pedro and Fermin, guys at 21, 20 years of age, how important is it to have those 10 years of big bike experience to kind of know the conditions, know when to push, how big a factor will your experience be this weekend, do you think?
Well, I mean, the experience doesn't help because, you know, I threw away a perfectly good victory in Le Mans this year through my 10 years of experience. But no, I mean, it's MotoGP, you know, the level's extremely high. You're pushing to the absolute maximum every single lap of the race. And yeah, as you say, conditions and trying to pick the right tyres and stuff like that definitely helps. I think experience can kind of help for that. But in terms of level of riding and when to push and when not to push, again, comes back to, I think they're all arrived to MotoGP for a reason, because they're ready and you know, they sort of understand that sort of side of things for sure.
It looks like it could be another wild weather weekend here in Australia for the time. Okay, guys, best luck to all three of you this weekend. Thank you.